Hi everybody, my name's Liz Rivera. I'm the Gem State Medium. Welcome back. So let's talk tunnels. Tunnels under Idaho Falls. There's always such a great debate over whether or not the tunnels actually existed. What we do know is that there are doorways down there. There's a lot of controversy over what the doorways are, what they were for, where did they lead any place? All those speculations and theories aside, what we do know is that Idaho Falls did have such a sordid and seedy past, and that it wasn't all sunshine and roses all the time. We went through being the Wild West. We went through lots of prostitution from the Wild West, apparently all the way into the 80s. Lots of brothels above in the buildings, in the rooms upstairs. We also know that during Prohibition, there was a lot of alcohol being run into different buildings. And so it makes you wonder how they were able to get so much alcohol from place to place. So I'm going to tell you about what I've seen in the basements of these old buildings. And then you can decide whether or not you think these are real tunnels or if they were just storage units. One of the first buildings that I had gone into with interesting doorways in the basement that had been sealed off, or entrances or exits, I'm not sure which they are, but that was the Rogers Hotel. And the Rogers Hotel was a very, very interesting building. So what I saw in the basement was where they had originally started. Well, you know, when they built the building, they had to blast away lava rock and all of that. I had walked away from everybody first off, just so I could have quiet and try to see the ghosts, see where they were, see what was going on with the basement. So I'd walked quite a ways away, and that's why I was over in that area myself, and I was looking into the doorway, and I was trying to get my bearings about this feeling I was getting, like there was something back there. And as I stood there, I'm looking at these stairs that go up into nothing. And, you know, they go halfway up and then they were sealed off for whatever reason to wherever they went. Off of this little room, there was another little room where I think there was, I don't know, pipes or a pump or something back in there. And I don't remember really going back there, because what I remember was, as I was standing at that doorway thinking, what in the world is going on? Who is here with me? And projecting all that thought and stuff in front of me, at that moment, somebody walked up behind me. I did not hear him. Of course, he scared the daylights out of me. So I'm standing there and I look in, and next thing I know, there's somebody like right behind me, up against my ear, like leaning in, and whispered, "So it looks like you're all alone now, little girl." I mean, it was just that scary. And man, I just like turned around and hightailed it back and went and talked to the ladies' man and told him what had just happened. He really startled me, made my heart jump, was not expecting it, scared me. Like, I think I said scared me about 500 times, because he really did. It reminded me of like a predator. Oh, I always say it reminded me of like a wolf, like a kind of a deep voice, and, you know, And I don't mean like a real wolf, but like a predator. And I stood back for a while and kind of got my bearings about me again and walked back over. And mind you, this was within, you know, a few minutes of when he first walked up behind me, because I thought, I am not going to let him get the best of me, you know, so I'm going to go back over and see who this guy is. So I walked back over and I have my phone and I started taking pictures at that doorway and looking in that doorway, because I thought, you know, he would do it again. And I took a couple pictures, and then I felt him come up behind me again. And I said, you're not going to scare me again. You're just a bully. I'm not afraid of you. And with that, it kind of, you know, just kind of quieted down, and he was gone, like, fine, whatever, you know, you don't want to play this game sort of thing. So later on, when I was looking at my pictures, this green light trail comes from that back area where there's kind of that pump and dirt, I think, that was back in that one room, because I'm standing at the doorway. I took that picture like right before I felt him come up behind me again. And so I've always wondered if that was him coming back out of the room and coming around me. But yeah, that was really interesting. I had gone back and talked to the women who I had gone with from the museum, and had told them my experience, and one went back over to where I was standing. I said, I think that that sealed off entrance there, or the doorway where there are the stairs that lead to no place now, this guy's protecting that route. Like, that was his job. And so they walked over and I snapped this picture, and it looks to me like it's half a torso, like from the waist up you can see, you know, kind of the shoulders and the head, and it's like right next to her. I do believe he was there protecting things. So I decided after that I was going to go stand in that area and see if I could really hone into not just his voice and him being a bully and stuff, but to kind of close my eyes and see who he was and what he looked like. And that's what I did. And this is who it was. I came home and I sketched a picture of the man I saw. So the next building that we went into was the building downtown that has Shadow Domain in it now. It's right there on Broadway. Great building, you know, it's just got a ton of character. When I went around in the basement, when we had first gone down in the basement, the first thing I saw was a young girl, probably 15 or 16, sitting in the corner, completely nude, trying to hide herself, very sad and upset. I think she was part of some human trafficking that was going on very, very early in Idaho Falls history, or Eagle Rock's history. She didn't want to be there. I think she fought it every step of the way, and I don't think she survived, whether it was from, you know, dysentery, or, you know, a fever, or maybe just unruly, and they killed her. On the one side, I believe there is a boiler, great big huge room size boiler, if I remember right. I believe I have pictures. If you go back past behind there, you wouldn't think that there would be any space back there, but there is, and it is full of debris. People have put some, you know, like water heaters, different things in there that they didn't need anymore, but it's a long tunnel. We go along the tunnel, climbing over a few things, you know, stepping over, getting all dusty and dirty. And we walk all the way to the end of this tunnel. And we get back there, and there's a sealed off entrance way there. It's arched like this. So once we're back there and we're near that entrance way, I just, you know, we're looking at like these plates that were probably used for credit cards and stuff to slide over a piece of carbon copy or whatever. So probably some of the first charge accounts in some of these buildings, but they were kind of strewn around on the floor. So, you know, picked a couple up, looked at them like, what are these for? You know, kind of that sort of thing. We were using our cell phones for flashlights because it was so black in there. There were no lights down this corridor tunnel thing. And so as we're standing there in the back, all of a sudden, it's like the hair on my arm started to raise. The atmosphere back in this tunnel started to change. Everything about it was somebody was coming up behind me. And so I shut my phone off, the flashlight part. The other ladies were still talking. And I shut my phone off, the flashlight and stuff, and turned around so I could use the camera. And I started taking pictures. Again, it was like you're near the tunnel, you're near this, you know, sealed off entrance, and another ghost appears coming up behind you like, what are you doing here? Why are you here? You don't belong here. Kind of protecting that area. I thought that was very interesting. Anyway, so we shut our stuff off and we left. So when I think about the people that I have seen in and around these entrances, you know, people can say what they want about what they had been originally made for. I think from what I've seen and how protective a couple of these entities were right at the doorways of these sealed off entrances is definitely, there was something going on. These guys were not back there just because it was fun to hang out by the entrance. I think that these two particular people were very trusted with everything. These men, I believe, were kind of thugs. I mean, they were like the regulators. They were the ones who were at the entrance. They were making sure whatever left was only people and things that were supposed to leave. I think if things were coming in, they were making sure the right amount of bottles were coming in, the right amount of girls were coming in, the right amount of money that was exchanged was all there. If you were coming down the tunnel, you had better have been a regular and been let in from the other side to go down. I guess I'm at a loss for any other explanation for these sealed off entrances than what these ghosts showed me when I was down there. They showed me who they were, and they were a little more aggressive, meaning they came towards us like, what do you want down here? Why are you here? They came across as intimidating, which would have been their job if that's what they were doing, was guarding these entrances and exits. So there wasn't only just doorways that had been sealed off, but mind you, these are the basements. In the basement, there is a doorway that is sealed off, and right next to that doorway is a window that is sealed off. What I want to know is, if you're plumbing in heat for the pipes, why do you need a window? If it's to a storage area, why do you seal it off if you could use that room for storage or some other purpose? And also, why would you need a window in a storage area? I'm not real sure what the windows were necessarily for. I don't know if anybody really has a good idea of what those doorways with the windows were for. I mean, why were they there? I mean, that suggests a room. I mean, you put doors and windows in a house so you can see out and go out. Where was this doorway going that you wanted a window in there as well? I just find that fascinating. And I do have some pictures of those doorways with the windows. Those are true accounts of what actually happened when I was in the basements of these different buildings, and it will raise the hairs on your arms. Trust me, it did mine. I hope you guys have enjoyed this paranormal experience I've shared with you and the tunnels of downtown Idaho Falls. Let me know what you think. Be kind. I'm just telling you what I saw. And what I've seen down there. So you guys take care, and I will see you during the next video. Bye.